everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another tarot reading from me. Today's topic is going to be on what do you not see about yourself? Basically, what messages can Spirit give you about yourself that you need to hear but you don't know about yourself? So you have 4 options to choose from. Before I get into the options, before I show you the options, once again, I am reminding you that I recommend you take some deep breaths, you focus on the question, meditate with your eyes closed a little bit, and then open your eyes, after some deep breaths, and just choose the pile that stands out to you instinctively without thinking too much about it. Okay, so you have 4 options to choose from. Number 1 is the iolite crystal. Number 2 is the onyx crystal. Number 3 is the rose quartz crystal. Number 4 is the aventurine crystal. You can pause the video right now and meditate on which crystal to choose, and I will see you at your reading. Pile number 1, this is your reading if you have chosen the iolite crystal. Okay. So once again, I'm going to add timestamps, but I'm going to be doing the shuffling and the selection of the cards live, so I will be taking my time. Okay, if you want to skip this part, of course, you can use the timestamps to go directly to the card interpretation. Okay, so Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 1, the people who have chosen the iolite crystal? What do they need to know about themselves that they haven't considered so far? Tell me, Spirit. Pile number 1, the people who have chosen the iolite crystal. What do they need to hear about themselves? What do they need to hear right now that they haven't considered? Okay, the people who have chosen pile number 1, the iolite crystal, what do they need to hear about themselves that they haven't considered already? Maybe what other people? Okay. Oh no, I can't choose these because there are too many. So, pile number 1, the people who have chosen the iolite crystal, what have they not considered about themselves, Spirit? Tell me. Tell me about pile number 1. What do they need to hear, Spirit? What do they need to hear about themselves? I'm going to read the interpretations at the end after I select all the cards. Okay. So, Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 1? The people who have chosen the iolite crystal. What do they need to hear about themselves that they don't know about themselves? Okay. Spirit, pile number 1, the people who have chosen the iolite crystal. What do they need to hear about themselves that they haven't already, considered? Oh no, oh no. Sorry about that, pile number 1. My cards fell and I had to pick them up. Okay, so back to shuffling. Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 1? What do they need to know about themselves that they haven't considered? What are their blind spots? What are their blind spots? Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 1? The people who have chosen the iolite crystal. What do they need to hear about themselves? Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 1? The people who have chosen the iolite crystal. What do they need to know about themselves? What are some of their blind spots, Spirit? What are their blind spots? Tell me, Spirit. Pile number 1, the people who have chosen the iolite crystal. What blind spots do they have? The people who have chosen pile number 1, the iolite crystal. What blind spots do they have? Okay. Oops. This is gonna be a lot of effort. Okay. Okay, so you have the 6 of Cups, the Ace of Wands, Temperance, oh, come on, the Knight of Pentacles, the 5 of Wands, the Devil. Okay. Then you have the 2 of Cups, the 9 of Cups, the World, the Queen of Cups, the 8 of Wands, the King of Wands. Wow, a lot of cards here. Okay, so let's see the Oracle cards. You have striving. Eventually, the individual's ego drive to make things happen falls away, replaced with a relaxed, trusting openness to answers as they arise. Thank you, Divine, for letting me move with the flow. Huh. Self-acceptance. Nothing is more exhausting than endlessly working on yourself. When you offer your whole being fully to love, self-acceptance arises spontaneously. May I rest in our oneness, dear Divine. Okay. And then you have these animal cards. Tiger, Fire. I choose to be unstoppable. My passion is my power. I am bold. I am brave. Mighty forces come to my aid. And Sea Otter, Happiness. Be the master of playful living. Release expectations and enjoy every day. Let worry go and instead choose love. Surrender to the waves. Your good destiny is love. Your good destiny of love is sure. Wow. I already get the general ideas here. So, what you don't see about yourself. So, see how this resonates. Maybe some of you are more self-aware than others. So, maybe some of you are going to be like, oh, this sounds exactly like me. Nothing new. But others are going to be like, yeah, that sounds nothing like me. Because maybe you are more unconscious and you don't see your blind spots. But what do I see clearly is that you are a very passionate person. You have a lot of sexual energy there. I'm going to say it because of the Devil card. You have a lot of passion, okay? You have a lot of, I guess, root chakra energy, which is the first chakra, which deals with survival and fighting for what you want and being a protector for other people. You have the ability to be an initiator, an entrepreneur even. You are a person who can inspire other people very easily, whether you realize it or not. You also have a great power of influence over other people, whether you realize it or not. I feel like you are the kind of person that really stands out in a crowd or in any room that you are in. People are just going to notice you. You have a very strong presence and a very strong willpower. Your power to initiate things is going to lead to abundance. You have the potential to be a self-made individual in every way, materially, and even in romance. This is very interesting and very specific, so maybe this is only going to be true for a few people, but for some of you, you are not seeing that a past connection of yours, maybe even someone that you have known since childhood, is someone who could make a great partner in life, either romantically or in business. Okay, so, yep, because of the Two of Cups here and the Six of Cups above. You are a person who is also very romantic, whether you realize it or not, okay? So you definitely have a lot of imagination, a lot of emotion as well. So it's not just pure passion, it's not just a drive to succeed, but you also have a great empathy and an ability to understand people. You're like a natural born psychologist. You have the ability to take care of yourself financially, whether you realize that or not. You can build your own fortune steadily from scratch by applying perseverance, by applying discipline, planning ability, management. And you also struggle with controlling your, let's say, lower nature. You definitely have to be more disciplined, I feel. Like, there is a message here that you might have a tendency towards distractions, towards addictions even. For some of you, addictions could range from substance addiction to, I don't know, watching too much Netflix. Basically anything that is distracting you, that is eating up your energy, but is not actually helping you achieve your long-term goals. Those are things you need to keep in check. You're not realizing sometimes that you are blinded by lust even. The Five of Wands shows that you're a person who is sometimes quite argumentative. You might find yourself in conflicts because you come across as maybe arrogant. You come on too powerfully. People feel your intensity and they feel threatened by you. They perceive you as a threat even though you might be well-meaning. There's a message here that you should be more diplomatic. And when it comes to perceived threats, like you starting arguments with other people, you should always try to put yourself in the other person's shoes and try to see things from their perspective before you start an argument. You're gonna achieve some great success in life by blending something that blending things that people see as an unusual combination. So this could be blending two different crafts, two different professions, two different lines of work that to most people would seem quite contradictory, unusual. But you have an ability to blend things and make them work. There is something, like you have this ability to blend two things, some ideas maybe, or maybe a business. And this is going to bring you a lot of success. It's going to open a lot of doors for you and a lot of recognition. You have a strong desire for travel. I don't know whether you realize this or not, but if you don't travel enough, it could be a source of depression for you. You would be best advised to choose some kind of line of work that allows you to travel. I know that's easier said than done, but it's something to consider. Another very strong message is that really you are a very powerful person. You have a great ability to manifest. You have a great ability to basically achieve anything that you set out your mind to. But the reason you don't, I feel, is because number one of your tendencies to get sidetracked by instant gratification, addictions, and so forth. So lack of discipline, lack of planning. Another reason could be a tendency for you to be undiplomatic, a tendency for you to maybe get into arguments that are unnecessary, that could be avoided if you applied a little bit of diplomacy and also maybe self-control, but also empathy, putting yourself in the other person's shoes. You definitely have the ability to be like a great entrepreneur or a manager. You can understand people, but you are also a person who's very determined. Once you set your mind on something, it's going to be very difficult for anyone to sway you. And you also handle crisis situations very well. Self-acceptance. Interesting. Right. This actually falls hand in hand with the Nine of Cups. So I feel like there's a message here that you need to learn to fill up your own cup. In the sense that you need to learn to love yourself. And yes, again, this is something that is easier said than done. But it's definitely a message here. Like, I feel... And again, it goes hand in hand with striving, ego drive to make things happen. I feel like you're a person who pushes too hard. Also with the Knight, well, not the Knight of Pentacles so much. But yeah, with these cards over here, also with the King of Swords, there's a feeling, and also with the Five of Wands and maybe even the Eight of Wands, is that there's a feeling you're pushing too hard, okay? So there's a feeling of like you feel like you need to prove yourself all the time. And there's a message that you also should enjoy yourself a little bit every day. And don't worry so much. Again, easier said than done, right? But pretty much, like, there's within your destiny, love is a very important thing. Like, it's something very important that you are meant to focus on. So it's about loving other people, but also experiencing a great partnership, I think, because of this card here. You're meant to have, I think, a very stable, mature relationship that is based on equality. Okay, so two people who are equally invested in the relationship, who have a strong emotional bond, are dedicated towards each other. Could be even that you might start a business with a romantic partner, and that could lead to some success. there's a great balance between your masculine and feminine parts. And in fact, this could even be a message for some of you that you are meant to balance the masculine and feminine energies in your life. So take this how it resonates. If you feel like you are a person who strongly identifies as feminine or strongly identifies as masculine, it's time for you to also see the parts of you that are of the opposite polarity, the opposite, quote, gender, so to speak. You need to find a balance. You need to find a balance between, you know, like, I feel like some of you are either constantly pushing forward and very determined and very passionate, but you are ignoring the sensitive side of you. You are ignoring your creativity, your intuition, your need for connection. Whereas on the other hand, there could be some of you who are too forgiving, too much focused on connection, pleasing other people while ignoring your passions and ambitions. Yeah, but like I said, strong message that you are an initiator. You're someone who can initiate things, projects, maybe businesses. I know this is going to sound like, well, new age secret stuff, but you have the power to fill your own cup. You have the power to enjoy the here and now, whether you realize it or not, okay? With the Nine of Cups, like, you have this ability to basically fill your own cup and be content every day, even if you haven't reached your full potential or you haven't achieved all of your projects yet. With the Eight of Wands, definitely there's a strong message that you might perceive, like, you energetically, like, the path is clear for you, okay? So you might think that you have a lot of obstacles, but not really. If you feel like there are obstacles in your path, most likely they are in your mind to a large extent, okay? So most likely it's something to do with your, you know, distractions that you are dealing with, or trying to please other people too much at your own expense. But energetically, there's not much that is holding you back. So you have great powers of manifestation. So yeah, pretty much this is what I see in your cards, and I hope you have found this useful. And once again, if you have, please like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and also if you're interested in a private reading, please email me at the email in the video description. Thank you for listening. So hello, pile number 2. This is your reading if you have chosen the black onyx crystal. And once again, you can pause the video and skip to the timestamp, sorry, not pause the video, because I'm going to be doing the shuffling live, so I'm going to be taking my time. And if you don't want to sit through it, you can just skip directly to the card interpretation or the card reading. Okay, so Spirit, what can you tell me about pile 2, the people who have chosen the black onyx crystal? What do they need to hear about themselves that they don't know? Okay. What do they need to hear about themselves that they don't know? Spirit, what can you tell me about the people who have chosen the black onyx crystal, pile number 2? What do they need to hear about themselves? What do they need to hear about themselves, Spirit? What do they need to hear about themselves? Okay, so pile number 2, the people who have chosen the black onyx crystal, what do they need to hear about themselves? What blind spots do they have? What do they not know about themselves? What do they not know about themselves, Spirit? Okay. So, Spirit, tell me about pile number 2, the people who have chosen the black onyx crystal. What do they need to hear about themselves? What blind spots do they have? What do they not know about themselves? What can you tell them, Spirit? The people who will choose the black onyx crystal. What can you tell them about themselves? What do they need to know? What do they need to know, Spirit? What blind spots do they have? What do they need to know? What blind spots does pile number 2 have? Okay, I'm going to turn the cards already because it's going to be more difficult to turn them afterwards. Well, actually, no. Forget it. I'm going to do the shuffling for all of them and then I'm going to turn them. Okay, so Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 2, the people who have chosen the black onyx crystal? What do they not need? What do they not know about themselves? What blind spots do they have, Spirit? What blind spots do they have? What do they need to know about themselves? What do they need to know about themselves? Tell me, Spirit. What does pile number 2 need to know about themselves? Okay. So, the oracle cards. Body. Show me, divine, how to love and fully care for this body. Please give me the radiant miracle of accepting my body as it is. Trust. When love is invited to take over, right actions arise at the right time. Allow me, dear divine, to wait patiently until the timing is right. Let me rest in the unknown until a clear path is shown. Okay. Eagle, mastery. You are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. You are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. Wow. Tiger, fire. I choose to be unstoppable. My passion is my power. I am bold. I am brave. Mighty forces come to my aid. Okay, and then you have pretty sure that this is justice. You have the Ace of Swords. You have the Queen of Cups. You have the Eight of Swords. You have the Seven of Swords. You have the Two of Swords. Okay. You have the King of Pentacles. You have the Eight of Pentacles. You have the Eight of Swords. You have the Knight of Swords. The Chariot. Death. Wow. I'm going to need to clarify the Two of Swords. Okay, Spirit, please clarify the Two of Swords. Clarify the Two of Swords for me. Please, Spirit, clarify the Two of Swords for me. What are the two options shown by the Two of Swords? the Emperor, and the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. I'm going to clarify again. Okay, can you please clarify the Emperor card? Can you please clarify the Emperor card? The Knight of Cups. Queen of Pentacles. Please clarify the Queen of Pentacles. Please clarify the Queen of Pentacles, Spirit. Page of Wands. Interesting. Okay, so what do you not see about yourself? I feel like you are... First of all, there's a message that you are very hardworking. Just realize that the Eight of Swords came out twice. So this is a very strong message, okay? The Eight of Swords coming out twice shows that there's a very strong message here that your thought patterns are keeping you stuck in life. It could be prejudice, it could be maybe negative thoughts, fears, you know, but definitely overthinking. You are over-rationalizing, and that is the main thing that is keeping you from actually being happy and progressing in life. With the Trust card here, I definitely feel like there's a strong message for you to just trust your intuition. What exactly does that mean? It means trust your gut feelings, your emotions. You know, like if you have a strong instinct that tells you do this, do that, then you need to listen to that. Do not ignore your emotions and your intuition for the sake of reason all the time, because you tend to over rationalize. And there's a very strong message here that you're the kind of person that sometimes, you know, what do you call it, like doesn't see the wood for the trees or something like that, meaning you may get bogged down in over analyzing and overthinking, like analysis paralysis. And there's a message that the way to get out of that is to follow your intuition, your gut feeling, and also your creativity. You need to take a step back every once in a while and not try to be overly controlling of everything. You have a tendency to come on strongly, okay? You are a person who's very much a go-getter. Very much a go-getter. If you want something, you are very, very much, you know, eyes on the prize. You don't hold back from pursuing your desires. But sometimes you are too intense. Sometimes you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and I feel like you might be ignoring yourself. In the sense that you might be ignoring your physical well-being sometimes, even. Like maybe you're pushing your body too hard. You're not being careful with how much rest you get, with how much food you get. You know? So there's also a message that you are meant to become a master of something, a master of your craft. You are a person who's very diligent, very hardworking, very patient. You can basically toil away for, you know, long periods of time, postpone gratification. You're definitely disciplined. You have the ability to become wealthy through your own efforts. there is a transformation on the horizon. Either something that you have gone through already relatively recently, or something that is going to follow in your life, okay? You're going to have to make some kind of a decision in your life between two separate paths. But actually, I feel like you might have choices and you might have anxiety about making choices and decisions, but no matter which path you choose, you're going to make it work. Eventually, you will reach a position of material abundance, of professional respect. I feel like part of your life, part of your energy is to deal with a lot of transformation, a lot of ups and downs maybe, or at least one very significant ego death in this lifetime. You know, some moment in your life where you are like gonna be forced to reevaluate yourself, your sense of identity even. There could definitely be a brutal ending in your life. That you're going to need to recover from. But the good news is that you have all it takes to recover from challenging moments in your life. As long as you trust in yourself, you trust your intuition. There is a strong message that you have to maybe even be like a pillar of support towards other people. Like, a lot of people are gonna depend on you to be the rock, to be the person who, you know, stands up for justice even, or just supports them, you know. So you might have a lot of people that depend on you. This could be subordinates or it can be your family, but you come across as a pretty dependable person, whether you realize it or not. You're also very empathetic and very creative. You have a lot of creative energy, but I feel like you're not really aware of that. Technically, all of this should be stuff that you're not very aware of. But especially when it comes to your intuition and your creativity, I feel like you are disconnected from it to a large extent. You're being very rational and very pragmatic. But overall, the strongest message I see here is that your desire to constantly push, push, push most likely might backfire. There is a need for you to achieve some kind of position of balance in life. I can see that you're a person who's very determined, you know, very driven, you know what you want to get. Most likely, this is a person who knows what they want in life, or at the very least, you know, they know the main thing that they want in life. They may not know specific things. Like, for instance, you might know that you want to have a successful career, but you may not be 100% determined with respect to what path you're going to choose. You know that you want to reach a position of respectability, intellectual achievement. You know, you want to be respected for your intellect. And you want to reach a position where you are a good professional, where you are seen as a good professional. But you might be neglecting other needs. Like, you might be neglecting your intuition and even your health. Whether you realize it or not, you can be a little bit sneaky. You can be manipulative. which is a potential bad trait because it could alienate people from you. Like people could pick up the fact that you might be manipulative and even deceitful sometimes, or they will perceive you this way. And this is what makes some people keep their distance. But there's like overall, like I said, not just the message of you overanalyzing, but as I have said also in the beginning, it's about you letting go of a desire to control everything all the time. This doesn't mean that you should stop being, focused and disciplined. That's definitely a good part about you, but it's like you also have to loosen up a little bit, and you also have to focus on the softer side of you every now and then. Don't ignore your emotions, don't ignore relationships just for the sake of, your professional advancement or a desire for material security. And also, do not neglect your physical health. This is a particularly strong message for you. And your mental health as well, but I feel like it's especially about the physical health for you. So yeah, pretty much this is what I see in your reading, and I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you have, please like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell to see when I will post a new video. And also, if you're interested in a private reading, you can email me at the email in the video description. Thank you. So hello, pile number 3. This is your reading if you have chosen the rose quartz crystal. Once again, this is going to be the shuffling part. If you want to skip this, I'm going to add timestamps so you can go directly to the card interpretation because I'm going to be taking my time. Okay, so Spirit, tell me about pile number 3, the people who have chosen the rose quartz crystal. What do they not know about themselves? What do they need to hear? What blind spots do they have? Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 3? The people who have chosen the rose quartz crystal. What do they need to hear? What blind spots do they have? Spirit. Wait. Yeah, this one. So, Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 3, the people who have chosen the rose quartz crystal? What do they need to hear? What blind spots do they have? What do they not see about themselves? Help them out, Spirit. Tell me. What do they not see about themselves? What do they not see about themselves? Help me out, Spirit. What do they not see about themselves? Oops. Okay, Spirit, pile number 3, the people who have chosen the rose quartz crystal. What do they not see about themselves? Help me out, Spirit. Tell them. What blind spots do they have? What do they need to hear about themselves? What do they need to hear about themselves, Spirit? What blind spots do they have? What do they need to hear about themselves, Spirit? What do they need to hear about themselves? Pile number 3, the people who have chosen the rose quartz crystal. What do they need to hear about themselves? What blind spots do they have? Spirit, What can you tell me about pile number 3, the people who have chosen the rose quartz crystal? What do they need to hear about themselves? What blind spots do they have, Spirit? What blind spots do they have? Oops. Okay, this one wanted to come out. Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 3, the people who have chosen the rose quartz crystal? What do they need to know about themselves? Help me out here. What do they need to know about themselves? Pile number 3, the people who have chosen the rose quartz crystal. What do they need to know about themselves, Spirit? Okay, so I'm going to start by reading the oracle cards. Courage. Divine courage is not the absence of fear, but a nudge that says, keep going, do it. Don't worry, all will be well. You have to get quiet enough to hear it. Dear Divine, may I feel your courage and your will. Health. Allow me, Divine, to be tender and accepting of my body no matter what ailments I may have. May I always know it's doing the best that it can. Help me be a loving ally and friend to this sacred form. Okay. Lizard, regeneration. As a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt. Embrace your transformation. Put on your new cloak. You are a master of regeneration. Pronghorn, action. Now is the time to act. Opportunities are here. Move forward with confidence. Your talents will always help you land on the pinnacle. Your quick wit and keen senses will lead you to success. Interesting. Okay, the Wheel of Fortune. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Let's see. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Oh, come on. I think I just... Okay. The Tower. Okay. The Ten of Wands. The Two of Cups. The Nine of Wands. The Ace of Pentacles. The Moon. The Nine of Swords. The Hanged Man. The Four of Wands. The Six of Wands. Wow. Okay. This is the most intense pile. Okay, so I don't know if these are all going to be things that you don't know about yourself, because considering these cards, I can see that you have been through some rough things, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I see. Interesting. First of all, you have 2 oracle cards that say health, that speak of health, regeneration. Regeneration and health. And then you have these cards. You have the Nine of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Tower. Huh. Okay. You are definitely a person who has gone through some rough experiences in life. I can see instability. I can see collapse of things that you knew, things you cared about. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of sudden changes. You have gone through some rough experiences, okay? Some maybe financial challenges, emotional challenges, the ending of a relationship, the ending of a job, sudden endings, basically, okay? So I can definitely see that you are not in a good state emotionally. and mentally. Whether you realize it or not, you're being influenced by past experiences. So these ups and downs, these past experiences, they could have happened in your recent history, or they could have happened maybe even in childhood. But whether you realize it or not, you are still under the influence of these past experiences. You're still carrying a lot of emotional burdens. You are very anxious to the point of even losing sleep at night. Because you don't know how you're going to handle the situations you've gone through. Sometimes you feel like everything is going bad around you. The message here is that you need to do everything in your power to rest your mind first and foremost. Okay, so this means maybe taking up meditation, taking up relaxation practices, anything that relaxes you, things that bring you to the moment. Whatever you can think of that is going to relax your mind. Like I said, breathing, relaxation techniques, meditation, drawing mandalas, knitting, whatever it is that helps you calm your mind. Do these activities regularly, okay? So this is because your emotions are influencing you so much that you are having trouble seeing things clearly. You're having trouble making good decisions in life because of the turbulent past experiences that you have gone through. Of course, if you can afford to, you can also see a therapist, or at least rely on people that you know you can trust and talk to them about whatever is troubling you. The Wheel of Fortune, though, is actually a positive thing for you. You have the opportunity to start, to actually, not just to start. And again, this could be for some of you, this could literally be that you're going to have a job offer soon, or some windfall, maybe even. For some of you, it could be a windfall. It could even be like winning the lottery, like the most far-fetched scenario, because you have the Wheel of Fortune and you have the Ace of Pentacles. So it could be for some of you that this is a good time. Of course, I'm not encouraging gambling or anything, but if you are a person who considers, playing the lottery, this is a good time, because it's a sign that this might be happening for you. You might get a sudden windfall. And of course, it could mean for others, it could be a job offer. It could be an opportunity to make money. But in general, this shows that you have the ability to always land on your feet. Even if many times you doubt yourself, many times you are stressed out, you are too caught up in the negatives, the truth is that you always find a way out. Whether you realize this about yourself or not, you're a person who's good in handling changes and crisis situations. But at the same time, these crisis situations affect you emotionally and mentally, whether you let on or not. You tend to worry a lot about finances, but I feel like there's a message you should not be worrying so much about finances. I feel like you might be overemphasizing on money, over concentrating on money. And because of that, you're having trouble making a move because you're afraid that you're not going to be able to take care of yourself financially. But that is not the case. You should be focusing more on your happiness. And also, do not afraid to be taking risks, because sometimes taking risks and dealing with ups and downs and challenges can actually lead to a better financial situation. Interesting. Very interesting. So you are a person who's very, very hardworking. I overall get the feeling here that you are a person who really feels alone. Like, even if you are surrounded by people, you feel like you have to carry all your burdens on your own. And if that is the case, you should try to seek help from other people. It doesn't matter which people, but you should try to reach out. You should stop clinging to the idea that you have to do everything yourself. And you also should let go of a belief that the more effort you put in, the bigger the reward is going to be, because that is not always the case. Sometimes it's about working smarter, not harder. But in your case, I feel like you are trapped in some kind of negative thought pattern because of your past experiences that do not allow you to see the potential, the possibilities around you. You're being asked to change your perspective. There is a rainbow for you, like, at the end of the storm. Definitely. I definitely see here, like, a lot of work, a lot of effort. You may have been going through a long period of time of a lot of struggles, a lot of challenges, feeling like it doesn't end, like you don't get a break. But there is a happy ending to your story, a very happy ending. There is a feeling here that so I'm not sure about, like, whether you know this about you or not. So maybe for some of you this hasn't happened, maybe for some of you it has happened. But you're going to find a great partner. You're going to find most likely a great romantic partner. This could even be a business partner. But this is a person that you are going to build a great foundation with. It's most likely, I'm thinking for most of you, it is most likely a romantic partner. A person that you're going to have a mutually respectful, affectionate, understanding relationship, and together you are going to build a stable family home, family life. This could even be like a family business, but most likely it refers to a stable home life, a family. This is a person that's going to bring you reason for happiness and celebration. This is part of what you are meant to experience in life. And there's also a message that your hard work will pay off eventually. So on the one hand, there's also the message of, like, you should reach out for help, okay? Especially when it comes to your mental health and everything, but also when it comes to, like, physical health. If you have people to delegate tasks to, or people that can help you out, do not be afraid to ask for help, or say, go over to them and say that you just cannot handle things on your own, or you need a break. And I think that you might be surprised that there are people out there who do care about you, and if you are open about it, they will help you out. But on the other hand, there's also definitely, like, I feel like your modus operandi is to be a very hardworking person. And whatever you are working for is going to pay off eventually. You're going to get a success story. You're going to have great achievements, most likely on every plane, financially, emotionally, because look at these cards, right? This is a celebration. These are both celebration cards. And one of them comes after the Two of Cups, which is about love relations, building a home. The Four of Wands is about a home base. And a celebration could be a wedding, you know? Gosh, I just realized that this is a confirmation. I didn't even realize it, but what I said about the ups and downs, like you have the goat, basically. Well, it's called pronghorn. I'm not sure exactly what species this is, but it looks like a mountain goat, you know? And as you may know, goats are very famous for, you know, climbing thin ledges, you know, of rocks and cliffs. And this is a message here that, you know, look at this. Your quick wit and keen senses will lead you to success. Like, there's a message that you are more able, more capable than you realize. But you have to seize opportunities. And the message strongly is that in order for you to acknowledge, to notice the opportunities around you, you have to work through your emotional issues. This is most likely, to me, like speaks of some kind of buried feelings, buried trauma maybe, or hang-ups after trauma, you know, stuck in negative thought patterns that are keeping you from seeing opportunities fully. So this is something to take into account. Okay, so this is what I can see in your reading, and I hope you have found it useful. And if you have, please like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and you know, if you're interested in a private reading, you can email me at the email in the video description. Thank you. So hello pile 4, this is your reading if you have chosen the green aventurine crystal, and you can skip directly to the interpretation, but I'm going to be doing the shuffling live, so I'm going to add timestamps if you want to skip directly to the reading. So Spirit, tell me about pile number 4, the people who have chosen the green aventurine crystal. What do they not know about themselves? What do they need to know about themselves? What messages do you have for them? What blind spots do they have, Spirit? What blind spots does pile number 4 have? What blind spots does pile number 4 have? Spirit, tell me about pile number 4, the people who have chosen the green aventurine crystal. What blind spots does pile number 4 have? What blind spots does pile number 4 have? What messages do they need to hear about themselves? Help me out here, Spirit. What can you tell me about pile number 4? Come on, Spirit. Help me out. What messages do they need to hear right now? Pile number 4, the people who have chosen the green aventurine. The people who have chosen the green aventurine. What can you tell me about pile number 4, the people who have chosen the green aventurine? What do they need to hear about themselves? What blind spots do they have? What do they need to hear about themselves? Tell me, Spirit, what do they need to hear about themselves? Pile number 4, the people who have chosen the green aventurine. What do they need to hear about themselves? What blind spots do they have? Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 4, the people who have chosen the Green Aventurine? What do they need to hear about themselves? What blind spots do they have? What messages do you have for them? What do they not know about themselves? What do they not know about themselves, Spirit? What do they not know about themselves? What do they not know about themselves? Okay, so I'm going to start with the Oracle cards. Solitude. Once you embrace the inner divine and your own sacred solitude, the right people arrive at the right time, exactly on schedule, without forcing or chasing. Compassion. As you pray each day for greater compassion, a new self is born, drawing new people and experiences. Dear Lord, help me feel ever-deepening self-acceptance. May I see myself as you see me. Giraffe, visionary, rise above earthly matters. Glide through life with grace. You are able to see the right path. Stand tall in your self-worth and love with a big heart. Loon, intuitive. Listen to the song in your soul. Trust your intuition as you have a way of knowing. Emerge from the busy life and seek more solitude. Interesting. Recognize that you are unique and that you are loved. Okay. And here comes the turning of the tarot cards, which is a grief. Okay. The 8 of Cups. Okay. The Magician. The 4 of Cups. The 9 of Cups. The 9 of Pentacles. Okay. Oh, come on. Wow, come on. Gosh. The Star. Wow. Okay, I'm going to start with this. The 6 of Cups. The 10 of Wands. The 3 of Swords. Death. The 8 of Wands. The 6 of Wands. Wow. Wow. Interesting. Solitude, compassion, and visionary and intuitive. Visionary and intuitive. Wow, like you have, like more likely than the rest of the piles, you have some kind of a higher mission. Like you have something major to achieve in this life. Look at this, the Magician and the 8 of Wands underneath one another. This shows massive abilities to manifest. With a Star as well. You are meant to be recognized. You are meant to have a lot of following, a large audience, basically, regardless of what your profession might be, what your occupation might be. You are meant to touch a lot of people or create something or do something with your life that is going to impact a lot of people. You have the ability to plan big, to see big, you know, to see the big picture. You can plan ahead. You can make like long-term plans, and you can also make, you know, you're very good at planning. Yeah, you're very good at just, you know, concocting grand schemes and grand, you know, visions, basically. The Eight of Cups and the Six of Wands. I feel like you are focusing. Actually, no, you're not focusing, but you should be focusing on letting go. You are the kind of person that I think you have a kind of a tendency to maybe be depressed. I might be going off on a limb here, but this is because you're a person of great emotions. Like, you have deep feelings. You have a lot of emotional depth. You have a lot of emotional depth, and that's why it's difficult for you to let go. It's difficult for you to let go of emotional hurts, of disappointments, maybe failed relationships, betrayals. But there is a message definitely that you should learn to accept the things you cannot change. Because that's where your real success is going to start. Your success is going to start once you basically learn to tie up loose ends. Stop dwelling in the past, Do not let the past drag you down, or do not let memories of past betrayals or past hurts keep you from progress. You're going to go through some major transformation in life, and I feel like it's inevitable. You have to learn not to choose every opportunity that shows up. When it comes to relationships, you have to learn boundaries. I feel like you're the kind of person who maybe is afraid to be alone in relationships, or you're afraid to upset other people. You care a lot about other people's feelings and opinions. And because of that, you end up suffering in the process, because you choose things just out of politeness. You may choose opportunities out of politeness and then discover that they're not what you wanted, but you're afraid to hurt other people's feelings. This could even be your family, or people, maybe teachers. Take it how it resonates. But whoever, placed expectations on you has put this great burden on you, because you feel like if you choose yourself, you're going to constantly disappoint someone. You have to go through some kind of major transformation. And I feel like the major transformation has to do precisely with your emotional nature. Like, you are meant to learn how to fill your own cup, how to be self-sufficient emotionally, on an emotional plane, so that other people's opinions and lack of support does not sway you from your path, does not keep you from being true to yourself and progressing in life. Unfortunately, I feel like you're also meant to experience some heartbreak, but this is ultimately also all in the interest of your development, because without heartbreak, you don't really feel incentivized to ask yourself the questions that you need to ask yourself, like, why is it that you care so much about, certain people, or why is it that you cling to past memories and relationships when you should be letting go? And I feel like the message for you is that you need to learn self-sufficiency emotionally. And you have the ability, really, to be emotionally self-sufficient, whether you realize this right now or not. But you can reach a point where you feel stable enough and you feel you love yourself enough to make the right decisions for yourself, and even burn bridges if necessary, not be afraid of what other people think. I feel like you're the kind of person that maybe to some extent you fear, like, you cannot stand on your own 2 feet. You might have confidence issues, especially if you are, relatively young. You feel like if you upset other people, you're not going to be able to make it on your own. But I feel like this is a message that you're definitely meant to make it on your own. You have the ability to be completely self-made. To be happy, self-made does not necessarily mean that, of course, you're going to be completely isolated, but it means trusting yourself, trusting your own vision for your life, and not compromising on that. Your ability to work hard can bring you financial independence. Interesting. Like, I feel like you could be gaining recognition by pursuing some kind of a childhood dream. Or you could be gaining recognition by something to do with children and family. Maybe teaching children, or teaching people about children, something connected to children. Or what I really feel is a message, especially to many of you, I think, is that by staying true to your inner self, your inner child, you're going to get the recognition you want and you deserve. You don't have to compromise on your authenticity. Listen to the song in your soul. Trust your intuition. You have a way of knowing. As you have a way of knowing. Do not listen to this. So emerge from the busy life and seek more solitude. Recognize that you are unique and that you are loved. So I definitely feel like there's a strong message of authenticity here. Like, you're someone who has compromised on your authenticity or true self for the sake of other people, for the sake of feeling loved, maybe, or getting approval, or getting just social recognition and acceptance. But there's like a recurring theme of don't be afraid to be alone, because the truth is, and I know this is going to sound cheesy, but you're never really alone. You are someone, like, based on these cards, you're someone who has a pretty important mission in this life. The Star card is also a card that can show, higher guidance. Basically, follow your North Star, your true north, and you're going to get to where you're supposed to be. But you need to trust that intuition, and you need to trust your vision for yourself. And also learn, like, if you're, again, maybe not my business to say this, but with these cards, like, I'm getting this strong feeling of, like, you were not accepted for who you were as a child, or, like, you didn't feel loved as a child, and that has caused you to seek acceptance in the wrong places. And if that is the case, of course, it goes back to the Nine of Cups message, which is that you need to, first of all, learn to love and accept yourself. And do not abandon yourself for the sake of someone else's approval. And also do not forget the fact that you have amazing powers of manifestation. You have the ability to achieve greatly, to achieve everything you want, if you set your mind to it, if you focus, if you're dedicated and authentic, true to yourself. Because if you're not authentic, even if you do reach success, it will be a hollow victory, because you might get social approval, but you're not going to feel fulfilled and happy. So also compassion, like this card of compassion, this is also about self-compassion, you know. Dear Lord, help me feel ever-deepening self-acceptance. May I see myself as you see me. Okay? So this is, again, trusting that there is a higher power and trusting that this higher power sees everything that is happening for you in your life, and that you are loved, you are supported, even when you feel like other people are against you or turning their backs to you. You're not really alone, you know, and there's a reason why you are the way you are, and you have to accept your and embrace your authenticity and your inner child, I feel, and your creativity as well, innocence as well. And another thing that I have to say is that look at this. You have two sixes, and two nines. So definitely this reinforces like you're a person who cares a lot about family. I feel like you're maybe a person who puts the family expectations above your desires. But you're also a person with great passion, great ability to be independent, and also very, very intuitive. And you also have the ability to help other people, like help large groups of people, you know, to be like a guide of some sort, a teacher maybe. But you have a humanitarian streak. And I feel like that's why it's so important for you to be authentic, because you know it's like a lot of people will take advantage of your authenticity once you get there, but you might be bogged down in just making a handful of people around you happy. Okay, so this is pretty much what I can see in your pile, and I hope that you have found this useful and you have enjoyed it. And if you have, please like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell to see when I will post a new video. And also, if you're interested in a personal reading from me, you can email me at the email in the video description. Thank you.